Congressman Brad Sherman of California, member of the House Foreign Relations Committee. And Congressman, are you on Trump's side on this?
I don't think so. I think his appointment of David Friedman to be the next ambassador to Israel is really a step backwards in our effort to achieve a two-state solution. I think that Obama has been a very pro-Israel president. This resolution is not much different than resolutions that passed under with the acquiescence of Reagan and Carter and others. And of course, as you mentioned, you've got the largest military aid package by far that Israel has ever received, negotiated by the Obama administration.
Do you approve of the administration's decision to abstain in that vote?
I think that was a mistake. I think, though, that
hold on a second. You just said that it essentially reiterated what was longstanding U.S. policy. So if that's the case, why is an abstention a mistake?
Well, for many years, mostly Obama years, we have prevented the UN from passing unbalanced resolutions. And this resolution focuses on on settlements as if that's the major obstacle to peace. The major obstacle to peace is not only the terrorism coming from the Palestinian side, but their position, sometimes disguised under the slogan two-state solution, right of return, rather, is their phrase.
Right.
Their use of the term right of return to put forward a position which, you really look at it, calls for the expulsion of all Jews or virtually all Jews from the Middle East. So it is the extreme position that the Palestinians take, not just Hamas.
Here's my question for you, Congressman. This seems to be getting conflated today. There's two separate issues. There is a question of, does settlement expansion, is that the obstacle to a two-state solution or the obstacle to peace? That's one question. And the other is settlement expansion justified? Forget whether it's an obstacle to peace or not. Maybe you're correct that the real obstacle lies in Palestinian extremism. But on the question of whether it's justified or not, you agree with the President of the United States, Secretary of State, longstanding U.S. policy, correct, that it is not justified, right?
I don't agree with every settlement. I don't agree with everything that anyone else does. And you can argue that this settlement is in the wrong place. The Israeli Supreme Court has called for the abolition and destruction of certain outposts. But that isn't the major issue. The major issue is the terrorism, the incitement, the teaching of terrorism.
Let me ask you this. Then what is your position on the charge by the Israeli government, which is a very serious charge? Benjamin Netanyahu has made this, Ron Dermer, the ambassador, has made this, that not only the U.S. government sort of conspired with folks on the UN Security Council to bring about this resolution and steer it through, but that John Kerry and the administration are now lying about having done so. Do you agree with them that John Kerry is lying and the administration is lying?
The Secretary's speech certainly didn't deny that there were discussions with the proponents of this resolution. And had there not been, the resolution would have been much worse. Though whoever crafted the resolution, whether there was an American diplomat sitting next to it or not, knew what the Obama administration's positions were, knew how to draft it so that it wouldn't get vetoed in this lame duck situation. And if the authors of the resolution had not taken Obama's beliefs into account, it would have been a much, much worse resolution. It might have been so bad that it would have been vetoed, and then perhaps that would have been a better outcome. But it's clear that the authors of this resolution were aware of Obama's thinking.
So are you hopeful now? I mean, do you think it is appropriate for the Israeli culture minister to basically say, goodbye, President Obama, we have Trump now, for the Prime Minister of Israel to be interacting with the President-elect, lobbying him to come out in opposition to this, the President-elect coming out? Is that an appropriate thing for a President-elect to do during the transition?
Well, we do have a First Amendment, and even presidents-elect are allowed to express their opinion.
Well, sure.
There has been
the First Amendment doesn't touch appropriateness.
Right. And I think that this whole country has gotten more and more partisan, and the rules of appropriateness have eroded and continue to erode. So I think it would be more appropriate if President Trump focused only on putting together his new team rather than trying to affect public policy during this transition period. That would be more consistent with the traditions of this country. And yet at the same time, I see all the traditions fraying as the country becomes more partisan.
All right, Congressman Brad Sherman, thanks for your time tonight. Happy holidays and happy Hanukkah.
Good to be with you.